What do you think about the attempt to scrub the leftist sympathies that the shooter apparently had?
That I've heard both ways. I have not been able to confirm which way he actually leaned because apparently on the debate team he was a very good debater and he made very good points for whichever side he had been assigned. And so his speeches have huge points for whichever side he argued. In some cases, that was for the left. In some cases, he argued very ardently for gun rights.
Yeah, I've heard. Something. I've heard a little bit of both, but I think most people have said that he was a leftist. And does it show the problem that because I think he was a registered Democrat. I think that's what some people have said. I have not confirmed that, but I also haven't been looking. But I think some people have said that that he was a leftist
Yeah, I
and a
mean, he
registered
could
Democrat and everything.
he could very well be. Like I said, I haven't had the chance to really do it. It's been a really busy weekend here, unfortunately, on that. But I mean, it that'll come out in the next week or so, one way or the other, because they can scrub it, whatever, but people knew him. It wasn't like a lot of the shootings where it's some loner kid that is been picked on and not known or liked. This was a very popular student who was on cross country, who was on speech and debate. He was well known at that school. So people know what he actually was, so they won't be able to hide his opinions.
Yeah,
It's just, take a couple days for it to be for sure. And yeah.
and I think that's also kind of the problem with people who jump at you know jump to conclusions.
Yeah. That's the danger, yeah. And and that happens a lot. Yeah. And we'll see. I mean, like I said, that's one of my goals. I'm off tomorrow and Wednesday, so that's my goal is to find out all I can on this.
People get days off. What?
I know. Well, not from writing. I'll still be writing the site. I haven't had a day off from that since for almost 2 years. But as far as my other job, I'll be off, and so I'll have time to actually be able to research more.
Yeah. So it's one of those. I think that's. Again, I think that's the issue where people immediately try to find out why stuff happened. They jump to blame stuff, and
Yeah.
it kind of happens on both sides. I think from time to time, but I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong there.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, it was just, over this next week, it'll be settled for sure which way it was and whether the mainstream press reports it the way they want to or the way it is will be really the question.
Yeah, and that's something that's got to be figured out because I don't know if people really enjoy that.
Yeah. People like drama. As much as they talk about they hate drama in their lives, they like talking about other people's drama.
Yeah,
And
that is true.
this is just a way that everyone can talk about it because it's such a, it was a big story. I mean, especially here. But yeah, and there was talks of, there was Thursday there had been threats at a school in Thornton, which is to the north side of Denver, and then this happens in Centennial, the southern side of Denver, only a few miles from Columbine and about 20 miles from the theater in Aurora. So it's, yeah, I mean, it's another one where, especially Friday afternoon, there was a lot of people just in shock that another shooting had happened here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, I heard someone joke about, Colorado, the state of shootings and weed. And it's like, it's an unfortunate name that we're getting, but apparently we get it for a bit. I mean, school shootings happen all the time, but most of the time they don't get noticed.
Yeah, it did say, according to, now obviously his, what, as the Alaskan pointed out, was that his Facebook has apparently been scrubbed. But he did say on his Facebook post, according to the Denver Post, that the Republican Party, healthcare, let them die, climate change, let them die, gun violence, let them die, women's rights, let them die, more war, let them die, and says, you Republicans are so cute. And that he believed himself that he was Keynesian, and I was wondering, to all the neoclassicals and neoliberals, why isn't the market correcting itself? The invisible hand is so strong. Shouldn't it be able to overpower regulations?
Yeah, and if the Denver Post is reporting him as a leftist, then he definitely was, because they're
although apparently
exactly
the Post scrubbed part of it. At least that's what some people are saying, is that the Post has scrubbed some of that. But the Internet Archive is a wonderful thing. That part has not been scrubbed.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's, and he's talking about death to everyone, apparently. So, maybe he wasn't as nice a kid as people thought. Even though that was public Facebook, I guess that says a lot about how much people actually pay attention to what you put on Facebook sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, if people were to look at my Facebook, they would see that it, had a majority. It would have. They just sit there and go, "What? He's following Ted Cruz and he's following Barack Obama. What?"
Where's mine? You'd mostly see pictures from the Nutcracker right now.
That's got to be a fun. I love the Nutcracker.
Yeah, this is the third year I've gone in a row, and I started making it a yearly tradition, and so it's like kind of I'm going. What friends want to come with me? And so 4 of us, we went out to dinner and then went to the ballet last night. Good night.
Yeah. See, that's fun stuff. That's fun stuff.
Yeah, and if it's something you've never done, a lot of people will mock it. Oh, the ballet or the Nutcracker or whatever, but go see it at least once, experience it. I love it. I see it every year because I love it so much. My friends, one of them, we were talking last night, and she's like, she went last year with me too, and she's like, okay, I've seen it twice in a year. I'm good for a few years. I'm like, okay, but she's seen it. She enjoyed it. So many people just mock it because they're like, it's an art form they have never seen.
Music,
so
the music's good.
Oh yeah, the music for Tchaikovsky's music.
Yeah,
so good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, even yesterday afternoon, I was listening to the Nutcracker on Spotify before I went to the Nutcracker.
Hey, you do what you got to do.
Well, yeah. Yeah, definitely if you get a chance, go see it. So many places, especially for the Christmas season, so many places are doing it. Pretty much every ballet company or somewhere is doing it.
It is worth taking a listen to.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that right now.
Definitely.
It's worth listening to.
And I want one more thing before we go to the second break, but I just wanted to mention this that
we can keep going.
Okay. Today in Israel, a soldier was killed from bullets flew out from Lebanon.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That was, another Israeli pistol. And then just earlier this week, we had another U.S. soldier go down. I've had a chance to write about the other day. U.S. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Matthew R. Rodriguez from Fairhaven, Massachusetts, died in combat in Helmand, Afghanistan. Yeah, it's good to remember their sacrifice.
Yeah, it is. Because they're doing stuff that I can't do and would do if I could, but I can't.
Yeah, same here. something I grew up going, I'm going to do this, and then medically cannot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's that's an unfortunate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I could.
Yeah. But
I
that's
wish I
something,
could.
if you haven't looked at my site ever, we do have our Remembering Our Troops section where anytime U.S. soldier goes down, we have a bit about them. Not necessarily always a lot, but so that they'll be remembered, and try to do the same for the Israeli soldiers. And I've done it a couple times for French and German troops, British troops, when I can get the information. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're fighting for. I mean, most of them are fighting against Al Qaeda, so they're definitely fighting for the freedom of the world. I mean, against that enemy, it's not hard to say, not difficult to say they're in the right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, boy, you've got to be happy, Peyton Manning. Moving from stuff that's important to stuff that really isn't that important. But Peyton Manning is Sports Illustrated Sportsman of the Year.
Well, I'm from California originally, so I'm a Raiders fan. So, however, since we did go football, I got to say something about my number 2 team. Go Pack, go! How about that comeback? That was one hell of a comeback.
I'm just going to say this. I took a nap. I fell asleep at halftime when it was 26-3 or something like that, and I'm not surprised at all that this happened at all. The defense isn't that good. The Cows defense isn't that good. When you have, and you can say, oh, it's because these people are hurt and these people are hurt. Well, yeah, but you've got to have serviceable backups, and if you don't make adjustments as the game goes on, what does that say?
Yeah.
At the same time, wasn't there? You had a second half of offense, and why didn't that happen? I mean, you can blame and yeah, Romo deserves blame because again he had the interceptions.
Well, interceptions. Look at Eli Manning today. Threw away 5.
Yeah.
Against the Seahawks. And talk about defense there. The Giants' defense is hella good because their quarterback threw away 5 interceptions, yet they held the Seahawks to 23 points.
Yeah. But my question is this, because I look at this and I'm serious about this. You had Tony Romo threw for 48 times, and I'm sure some of that was as this was going up. DeMarco Murray only ran for 18 times. I'm sorry, something's wrong here. When all of a sudden you're not trying to pound the ball and pound the ball against a group that isn't that good against the run, really, or has really struggled in the last.
They were the worst defense in football.
So that's, and the Cowboys again gave up. They almost gave up 300 yards passing. They gave up 400 yards total. That's that's an issue that that they've got to figure out.
Yeah, definitely.
And listen, and I'm going to be honest. Even though I am a Cowboys fan, in the pantheon of Dallas sports, the Stars are first, the Cowboys are last. I'm just going to be honest. I like hockey so much better than I like. Football's easy to watch, but when you're only kicking field goals and not scoring touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'll stick to hockey, thank you very much.
Also did see this morning in the Premier League, British football, so soccer for the Yanks, you had Liverpool take down